Hi guys, welcome to my video. Today I am just going to be answering some commonly asked questions about the Tineco Ifloor2 mop because I have gotten a lot of comments on my previous video, so I just wanted to go over the top asked questions just in case, you didn't have time to scroll down or you have a question and maybe your question was answered at the bottom of the comment list. So I just wanted an easy way for you guys to have some of the most common questions answered. So let's go ahead and start with the most common question, and that is, do you absolutely have to use the Tineco solution? The answer to that isn't really simple because, guys, I'm honestly not sure. I have seen on other people's videos where they got away with using something else and they said it didn't affect their mop. So I suppose you could try it as long as you dilute the solution and make sure you're using something that's not abrasive or something that could clog the machine or just something that's intense. I'm pretty sure that this is just some basic cleaning solution, so I just wouldn't use anything rough and you'd probably be fine. As for me, because the directions say that I should always use this solution, it is the only one I use and I don't really use anything differently. To fill up the solution cup, you only need a cap full of this. To be honest, I use 2 capfuls because I love the smell of it, so I try to sort of intensify the smell. But it is, really diluted, and this bottle actually will last you a very long time, so it's not a bad deal. The next most commonly asked question is, do I have to hold the trigger that's located right here the whole time that you're mopping? Okay, the answer to that is no. The mop automatically distributes liquid from here to the mop head, so you do not have to hold the trigger down. However, the point of this trigger is to produce extra liquid. So let's say you just have some harsh spot where the stain is not coming up, or there's just something tough on the floor. You can hold that trigger down, and what that's going to do is release extra liquid. I did see some people on the comments saying that this button was not releasing extra liquid. It does on mine, and I don't think that because the floor is super wet. I know that it's happening because I do get an intense smell of the liquid, so that's how I know it's definitely letting more out. The floor isn't sopping wet, obviously, but it's just letting a little extra out. So that is what the trigger is for, and yeah, you do not have to hold it down the whole time that you're mopping. So the next most commonly asked question is, in what order do I need to clean the mop? So I'm going to do a quick explanation of how I do that. So the first thing you're going to do is, when you're done mopping your house, empty your dirty water tank and then refill your clean water tank. After you do this, you're going to need to run the self-clean cycle. To run the self-clean cycle, you're just going to simply plug it in here and hold the on-off button for about 3 seconds, okay? After you do that, the self-clean will start. If your self-clean does not start, that might mean that you don't have enough battery inside your mop battery, so you might need to leave it plugged in for a few minutes, and once it's been plugged in for a few minutes, come back to it and try again. That has happened to me. So after that is done, the self-clean cycle really only takes about like 2 or 3 minutes, and once that is done, then it is time to use soap and water to clean your mop. So then you're going to dump this out again, and you can clean this out with soap and water. You can clean this piece out with soap and water. The filter needs to be cleaned each time you use the mop, and they provide this so that you can clean all these things and this as well. So I do dump out the clean water tank as well after each use and leave it open so that it can dry. After about 24 hours, I then go ahead and replace everything on the mop. And the self-clean cleans the brush for you, so all you need to do is set it in the station to dry, and it will be dry after about a day or so, and you can replace it back in the mop. So the next question is about the battery life. A lot of you guys want to know how long the battery life lasts. I would say for this one about 35 to 40 minutes. It is enough to complete my house on one full charge, so I'm really not disappointed in it necessarily. I knew for a vac mop that was going to be this cheap, I probably wasn't going to get a ton of battery life, but it's enough for me. My house is like 1,200 square feet, something around that arena. So if you guys have a higher square footage house, you might have to have more than one charge to complete your house. Can you use this as just a vacuum? I am so sorry to say that no, you guys, you cannot use this as just a vacuum. There is no option for that. Some people said that you could try to run it without the liquid in it. I don't know what that would do. I mean, I haven't tried it myself in fear of damaging the mop. So in the instructions, it doesn't say anything about that. So I'm pretty sure that the vac mop is not meant to just vacuum. I feel like I already touched on this question, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it again. How often do you need to clean the machine? I have touched on this in my video as well about the Tineco mop, and it's every time, guys. Every single time after you use this mop to vacuum or vac mop your house, you need to clean it out. I do think that things like this can break easily if they're not really well looked after and taken care of. So yeah, every single time. Will this mop leave lines on your floor? Okay, some people did say that this mop was leaving lines on their floor. It didn't leave lines on my floor. I didn't seem to have a problem with that. If it were leaving lines on my floor, I would probably just contact Tineco and ask them to replace the product, saying it's malfunctioning and not working correctly, or it's letting too much liquid out or something like that, because mine has never done that since I got it. How long does it take for the brush inside to get wet so that you can go ahead and start mopping your floors? Okay, so the first time I ever used the mop, it actually took like 2 or 3 minutes, and now when I turn the mop on, it really only takes about 10 or 15 seconds for the mop to start getting the brush wet, so it's fairly quick and you don't have to wait very long. Does spot cleaning work? Okay, this is a tough one. I don't notice a huge change when I choose spot clean, so I'm not really sure how well the spot clean works. I feel like maybe the brush turns a little faster or something like that. I'm not really sure what it does that's that different. So I just hold it over a spot if there's like a tough stain or a spot that I really need to clean. And I just hold it there for a few seconds, start the spot clean, and it does seem to help, but I don't really know if that's because I'm holding the mop in the same exact place for a while, or if it is actually the spot clean function. So I feel like you guys can decide for that yourself. I sort of feel like it's the same, and the spot clean isn't really that much different than the regular mop. The last question is, does the mop still work for me, and what kind of updates can I give for it? So now that I've had the mop for 2 months, I can say that it's still working great and it fits my lifestyle very well, and now that I've been cleaning it regularly every time after I use it, the whole cleaning process only takes me about 7 or 8 minutes, and it is a lot faster than vacuuming the whole house and then mopping the whole house. So I love this mop, and I'm so glad that I was able to purchase it, and I just want to let you guys know that it is working well, and I will make a 6-month update to tell you guys if the mop is still working well and if I'm having any issues with it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.